Most of them are actually, like John said, refusing to do the pat downs as far as the groping goes. They're just doing, the bare minimum of the pat downs that they have to do. And I asked her,
Yeah, I had one once when I had one when I opted out once in Vegas. The guy got off on it clearly, but I had one once just act like he was touching me. Just, and I was like, whatever. But again, this is how we're going to be. This is how tyranny falls. Go ahead.
I was going to say it was because of the people are starting to wake up, and that's what she said, was that because the people are waking up, because more people are expressing their feelings towards or trying to opt out of the scanners and making them pat down and reading them the right act while they're being patted down. It's actually woken the TSA officers up to not even realizing what it is that they're exactly doing. And so I just wanted to make that comment about what John has said, because he's exactly right, and I'm seeing it right here in Tulsa.
Good job, my friend. And again, our article is linked in red at Infowars.com. We need everybody to help make it go viral. Bilderberg leaks, ladies and gentlemen, admitting they want their world government. They want NATO to be at the heart of it, and so much more. Leaked Bilderberg documents. Nationalism is dangerous. Infowars exclusive obtained senators' notes, minutes, agenda from 1966, confab. How to take over by stealth. It's all there. Just the photos we took of the documents this morning. We're about to upload a scanned PDF of as many of the documents as we can scan. It'll take hours. Incredible job to the crew. Let's take a few more calls before we get an update on some of the other information Aaron didn't have time to get into with this big Bilderberg leak. Let's go to Julio in Illinois. You're on the air, Julio.
Aloha, Alex. It was a pleasure to meet you in Chantilly. I didn't get patted down by TSA after Bilderberg, but I must say I was a part of history with everyone that was out there. It was a treat to drink at the Wellington pub, desecrating over the Bilderbergs the night before on Wednesday night. It was a treat, Alex. I wanted to ask you, I heard you say when we did the human sound cannon Friday afternoon, 40 feet away from them, is it true that the windows were shaking and they were upset?
Yes, we got that from inside sources, but also in most places there's 200 yards or more of forest around it. But the one big conference wing, and you can always tell when they're in there because all of a sudden security gets around it. Then we run down knowing that they're meeting. 4 years ago, the head of the CFR, Haas, came out. Richard and Haas got in our face. Kissinger came out this year. I didn't get it on tape, but everybody saw it. Some got it on tape. And we had 7 bullhorns, daisy chain there, 5 or 6 down here, another 7 or 8 down here. But some guy brought a big jumbo, giant one. We held it up, and somebody had the idea to put a bullhorn into its speaker, and it caused some resonance that would instantly we were all getting migraines. Skelton had to get away. I had piercing headaches. You could see me trying to cover my ears. It's going while doing it, feeling nauseous. Other people were having to get out of there. It was hitting them. We're behind this, mind you. Okay, this is like an LRAD, folks. And the police came out with shotguns. Everybody had their eyes open, and globalists were running out, freaking out. And we're told that they had to shut the meeting down. I mean, it was because imagine it's glass windows and we're just pounding it, just like, I mean, it was just like, it was off the charts. Let me tell you, daisy chaining bullhorns, because it does something to the diaphragm in there where it just like gets the maximum sound. It was deafening. I mean, and then they had the sirens going. I mean, it was like, it's what they did to the Branch Davidians at Waco before they killed them. They were shooting stuff like that at them. Let me tell you, it was being behind it, man. I was having to go lay on the grass. You saw me repeatedly collapsing from migraines. Did you see that?
Well, Alex, I'm telling you, I'm glad I got to interrupt those scums in their meeting, because I'll never forget that moment in history. And I even saw Rob Jacobson during the day with his iPhone and his video camera giving it to the police. It's funny you mentioned, Alex, that they were saying, oh, we're your supporters. I was telling the police, if you guys are really care about your families, if you care about freedom, you would go inside and you would arrest those criminals instead of dragging a female on the ground, instead of arresting someone that's on the street. You would show how much you care. You would be instant heroes if you would arrest
Let me stop you for a minute. If the globalists keep pushing, there's going to be Ceausescu moments. But if there is a government, police, military counter coup, it could go very bad very quickly, and it's extremely dangerous. We do not want that. If it's an emergency, things keep going down the road, it's going to happen. We've already checkmated them. We've already got them in check that we've gotten all this out. they're going to end up losing. Not the 30,000 drones, the checkpoints. They're hitting the panic button like Hitler in their bunker. They're not invincible. I've studied history. But they could release a bioweapon. If the cops actually did that, the globalists would hit and release a bioweapon that would kill almost everybody. We've got to be ready for that. And there may come a time when we just got to go ahead and try to arrest them. They're going to release the bioweapon. Everybody's got to dig in while this stuff ravages people. I mean, it's going to be bad, okay? I mean, they've got the Death Star aimed at us, but we don't have a choice, so we've got to go ahead and push them to the point of that. I hope that enough people in the elite realize they better back off. This is not a good path they're going down on their little power trips. That's why I'm risking my life in their face. Look, most of the senior police were on our side. When people kept challenging them and going out on the road and stuff, if somebody got run over, they were going to get in big trouble. They were going to be fired. The point is, it's by degrees. These police did by 30, 40, 50 degrees better than any other police I've ever seen. This is a process. And I used to just hate the police and hate the bullying stuff and the tyranny because I didn't realize they didn't know as much as I knew. But I've noticed that if you actually try to educate police, except if it's New York City, because there it's just total gangs in uniforms, that the police actually, especially cops that have been cops a few years, young punks, they haven't learned yet, or they're into it for a power trip, but they won't last. Most people that have actually been around and learned human nature, most police love their families too. And everybody instinctively now, Julio, knows this is down to the wire, okay? People now understand the New World Order's real, they're bad, they're really evil, they're eugenicists. And so it's a process. I appreciate your call. I remember you were pretty angry at the police quite a bit, and I understand that. And, I got in their face. The cops came out, and we were shaking the windows with riot shotguns because the head of the hotel and the security and the Marines were ordering them up there. And the cops had body language like they didn't like it. And I said, you're wrong to have double-lock shotgun. You don't scare us. And we said, this is treason. And a commander came over and said, get the shotguns out of here. I said, listen, go ahead and shoot me now. I'm ready to die for this republic. Go ahead and have a Kent State. If we do break these barriers down, which we're not planning to do, and we charge you, and they realized, it's almost like they were psychic, that I was halfway thinking about pushing that down and going in and going, go ahead and kill me. 1776 starts now at Bunker Hill. You understand that? We're committed. We're not backing off. You started a fight with the wrong people.
American gardeners and fellow patriots make the right...
But we are destiny. We will take action. You are the resistance. Resistance is victory. You are victory. Oh, there's the new TSA graphic. I'm back in studio, ladies and gentlemen. By the grace of our Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, all the power and glory comes from you. Thank you for using me as an imperfect, twisted vessel against tyranny. And whatever your will is, that's what's going to happen. I don't even pray and ask God for stuff. I just say, whatever you want, that's it. But I'm ready to go up against the New World Order. I think we're sending feeds back down the line to Aaron. Aaron's going to come in here in the next hour with about 20, 30 minutes of overdrive to break down what we properly didn't cover on air driving here. But we can do document cam shots when he gets in here. We're going to have Aaron in here with the documents in higher def streamed out to Prisonplanet.tv viewers to get these on the record. So we can show you all the documents, not just what we were able to get to Paul Watson and get up there in his story. But we are here by the grace of God, and it's been amazing. And we are turning the corner against the TSA, against NAFTA, against GATT, against the globalists, against the North American Union. We are going to be able to beat these people if we recognize their operations. And if we reach out to people across the political spectrum and point out that the New World Order is the author of our world where it is today. Everything that's industrially bad, everything that's big and bad. There's plenty of evil out there with individuals, but everything that's institutionally bad is directed globally by this group of miscreant scum. And that it's a corporate, global, New World Order system that's taken over the planet, and they must be defeated. It is really that simple. So we were gone, I don't know, Saturday evening until Wednesday afternoon. How many days is that? That's like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days. And we are back, and I can't wait to see my family. So amazing to be here. We couldn't have done any of this without you. I really just want to thank Matt Drudge and his crew at drudgereport.com for carrying our stories and also carrying the other Bilderberg stories the last 5, 6 years and really helping break it down. WorldNet Daily, I want to thank Washington Times. I want to thank all the alternative media that was out there. I want to thank everybody my crew, my family, you, the supporters, the listeners, everybody that came out. It was great, but also torture to have all these families and children looking up to me and counting on me and shaking my hand. It was such a good spirit, but also it's crushing because you realize the responsibility you've got. But you know what? I'm doing the best I can. I just think about those that aren't awake and don't know the threat that society is facing, who don't understand how serious the cost is and what we're dealing with. People that are sleeping. The globalists live, we sleep. Humanity awaken. Now is the time. The entire crew here has just done, again, a fantastic job. Dew sitting in, the Watsons, Marcos, Morales, Darren McBreen, John Bound, Chris Alaniz, just everybody, the entire office, everyone here that helps bring you this information is risking their lives, their names, their honor, their treasure, because they understand there is no future if this is not defeated. That's the big trick of the devil in the New World Order. There is nothing to sell out to. All these people that are worldly and empty and living the delusion, it's like an imaginary playland they're in. It's not real. That's why you're not fulfilled. The real world is all around you. The fight for humanity is now. It's here. And we need strong men globally and women to rise up against the globalists and the info war. We have now gained the initiative. We will win the war.
In just a moment, we are going to bring you information on the leaked Bilderberg documents. I'm going to try to focus here, get all the papers together. We've been doing it from the road. It's very disjointed. I'm going to try to organize it, present it to you in a straightforward fashion from the 1966 meetings. These documents haven't leaked before. They obviously don't want them out. They're a skeleton key to foreign policy and how the United States has been infiltrated, how they've been steering world government for more than 60 years now through the Bilderberg Conference. Stay tuned. Prisonplanet.tv, and you could see some of the documents. Now they were leaked from Senator Fred Harris. He was on the National Security Subcommittee in the Senate. He ended up being a two-term senator. In his second year, he was taken to Bilderberg, groomed, influenced by Rockefeller and other operatives, taught how special NATO needs to be, taught how they need to use economic devices, taught how nationalism is poison, basically, how it's, quote, dangerous, how nationalism is the worst thing possible, and how world government is the future. That's the kind of stuff we're going to be breaking down from inside the Bilderberg meeting. Special documents, ladies and gentlemen. This is breaking. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.tv. Stay tuned. Tune in to this overdrive. Share it with everyone you know. We all have to do our homework so we can defeat Bilderberg and their related steering groups from out of the UK-based Cecil Rhodes Roundtable. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been given the microphone for a special overdrive presentation. As you know, I've been returning with Alex Jones from the Bilderberg meeting 2012 at Chantilly, Virginia. There we were leaked much of what has been never before released documents from inside the Bilderberg group meetings. This goes back to the 1966 conference. It took place in Wiesbaden, Germany, right outside of Frankfurt. Today, it is still the base of the U.S. consulate in Germany. It is also the base of occupied Germany back in the Soviet era. Now, these documents come out of the private library. They're marked not for distribution. They're marked confidential. They are marked protected by copyright law, but they're leaked anyway. We're going to break them to you. They come out of Senator Fred Harris's collection. He is a Democrat out of Oklahoma, still alive. I believe it is in his early 90s. He ended up being a two-term senator, but here he was in 1966, 2 years after being brought in, just on the heels of JFK's assassination. In 1964, he was groomed very early on to be a Bilderberg member. He, of course, was on the Senate Subcommittee on National Security and other branches. He was engaged in a study on the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and was on a subcommittee in the Senate which related to that. Now, that's why he was brought there, because that was the major topic of the 1966 meeting. Now, let's start here. We've got personal and strictly confidential, not for publication either in whole or in part. from the collection of the Honorable Fred Harris. Bilderberg Meetings, Wiesbaden Conference, March 25th, 1966. Yes, they used to have these meetings in March rather than late May, June, when